Ooh, child, there's a lot of drama in Auburn, Alabama. That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are, or your student is, on track for selective college admission in the United States, visit areyouontracktogetin.com. Again, that's areyouontracktogetin.com, at which you will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. The headline in the Auburn Plainsman reads as follows: Office of Undergraduate Admissions under scrutiny for alleged illegal actions. Mass exodus of staff. This is written by Editor-in-Chief Sammy Grace Donnelly. In November, the Plainsman received a tip about the Auburn University Office of Undergraduate Admissions office committing, quote, unethical and potentially illegal, end quote, actions. At that time, 8 employees had resigned from the office. Now, nearly 6 months later, there has been a mass exodus of the staff in correlation with this behavior. And that number is up to 15. The catalyst struck in March 2024 when Phil Verpel was hired into his current position as Executive Director of Undergraduate Admissions, serving as Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management. He reports directly to Geoffrey Gaiman, Auburn's Vice President of Enrollment. Soon after Verpel began implementing changes in procedures and university protocol, according to several people who wish to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation. Many people close to the matter believe Verpel's actions directly contradict university values. From July 2024 to March 2025, 2 associate directors, 1 coordinator, and 3 assistant directors resigned. Not one of their positions has been filled. At least 4 people interviewed said that Verpel seemed to be intentionally targeting, recruiting, and admitting students based on race and other information that was, quote, unethical and potentially illegal, end quote, to review as a college admissions employee. And the article just goes on and talks at length about how admissions decisions are made at Auburn. I should note that Auburn is an institution that if you have a certain GPA and you're from the state of Alabama, you are able to apply test optionally and be admitted test optionally. However, it is generally a test expected institution. Auburn received over 55,000 freshman applications for the class of 2028, which is a 14% increase from the previous year and reflects a growing demand for an Auburn education. Approximately 46% of applicants were admitted, equating to around 25,300 students. And the class of 2028 includes 5,900 plus first-year students, which is the largest in Auburn's 167-year history. Over 12,500 applicants were Alabama residents, and 30% of admitted students are from Alabama. 25% of admitted students were from underrepresented groups or areas, which indicates an ongoing focus and prioritization of identity and diversity from the admissions office over at Auburn. Auburn basically is an increasingly selective school, but it is not a hyper-selective school by any means at this point. The average ACT score for the class of 2028 was in the 27 range, maybe a little bit higher, roughly 27, 28. The demographics were not really publicized for the class of 2028, but for Auburn's class of 2027, 79% were white, 4.9% were Black or African American, 4.3% Hispanic, 2.8% Asian, and 2.6% multiracial. 3% are international students. It's pretty likely that the class of 2028 demographically will be in line with what the class of 2027 was, with efforts to increase diversity through a 5-year DEI strategic plan initiated in 2019. What is definitely clear is that there is tumult in the admissions office over at Auburn, and it's not surprising. As the school becomes more popular, there's more of a spotlight on what may be going on in that office of admission, And more Alabamans, but also individuals from out of state, are intrigued by the prospect of attending Auburn. So this is part of the course when a school gets a little more popular. But it does seem as though the issue around race is percolating up in a number of institutions, not just the Harvards and Amhersts of the world. We are also down here in the deep South, and Auburn is not immune from the challenges of balancing traditional institutional priorities with what have become much more recently institutional priorities. I will link the entire article, which I'm not reading here today, in this video's description if you are curious. If you are interested in Auburn, more power to you. Again, it's a fun school to go to. A lot of school spirit, a lot of pride. And it is in Alabama. Obviously, other schools in the Deep South that are popular include University of Alabama and other schools such as Ole Miss. It is not a surprise that the individuals in the admissions office who are in command are prioritizing greater diversity in the undergraduate population at Auburn University. We will see if the way in which they did that or are attempting to do that has gone too far as it relates to human relations and also professional etiquette. And maybe we'll even learn whether or not there was some illegal shenanigans going on at Auburn's admissions office, which of course this piece starts to allege. But really there's no comment from either of the named players in this piece for this piece. So we're going to have to simply say to be continued. The South is an interesting place. It's become much more popular with students and parents over the last 5 years as a lot of political matters become at the forefront of life at college campuses on the West Coast and in the Northeast. Those families who are looking for a less politicized undergraduate environment are attracted to the South. However, no institution in the United States of America is immune from the popular trends of the day in higher education, the most notable of which in recent years has been promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. And now, of course, we have a new administration in the United States, White House, and therefore there is more pressure on all institutions for them to comport with the actual letter of the law as it relates to treating individuals as individuals and not on the basis of their race. So a lot of the priorities of colleges and universities, no matter where they are in the United States over the last several years, is coming up against the expectations of the current administration, and that is causing a lot of friction. And sometimes when there is friction, then you get articles like this. And again, we will keep our eye on it. For those who missed the news, my newest course is 17 silly mistakes that even Ivy League applicants make on the Common App. If you are interested in supercharging your Common App and making sure that it steers clear of these 17 silly mistakes, click on the link in this video's description to purchase 17 silly mistakes that even Ivy League applicants make on the Common App, and do it today. As we wrap things up, I want to remind you that you don't have to settle for the free videos alone. As you navigate the college admissions process, get the focused and personalized coaching and expertise you need to achieve your goals. My Smart Sessions meet you where you are in order to take you where you want to go. Meanwhile, if you want proactive support throughout the college application process and want to collaborate with a dedicated expert to submit applications that are simply meticulous, reserve your preferred Simply Meticulous experience as soon as possible. Space is limited due to the time and attention to detail required to pull off these extraordinary coaching experiences. No matter your distinctive objectives, you can achieve them. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, visit my website, which is collegemeister.com. And when you've finished your Common App and want to know if it's as strong as possible and whether or not in its current condition your chances of admission are impressive, inconclusive, or inadequate, you need my pre-read. Getting my pre-read now means having me review your entire application, just like an admissions officer or admissions committee will review it later, and receiving by email no later than the time you reserve a comprehensive report highlighting what's working and what's not on your full Common App and one Common App supplement. If you've yet to submit your Common App, my pre-read may motivate you to make adjustments to it before your deadline. If you've already submitted your Common App, my pre-read will prepare you for what I deem to be your likely admissions outcome at the institution in question. To purchase my pre-read now, go to mypreread.com. Again, that's mypreread.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, go to my website, which is collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.